Hello friends, welcome to one more session of JMeter. In the last session, we have discussed the get type of a request. Now today, I'll be using the post type of the request. So we have already started my JSON server and I'm using the same weather API which I have created. Now in the post type of a request, what we have to do, we have to add a new city and we have to add the corresponding weather condition for that city. So as we have already discussed in API testing, that ID is auto-generated. So we have to send these two parameters, city ID and the name of the city as a post. But before adding the post type of a request, we have to add the get type of the request to validate that this city is already exist or not. If Paris already exists, so we cannot add Paris again. Otherwise, duplicate cities will be added. So first of all, we have to validate it, and if it is not present, then only I have to add the new city. So in the Postman, I have already created a test plan and a thread group. And the first thread group sampler request I have added is a get type of the request. Okay. As we have discussed in our last that we are using the local host, so we have to write the protocol HTTP localhost and 3000 over here. Okay. And in get type of a request, we can send the data as a query parameter. So from the parameters add, and I've added the name Kanpur. You can take this data from the CSV file also instead of Kanpur that we have already discussed. Okay. So you can attach the CSV file if you want to add the multiple cities or if you want to test it for the multiple users or multiple cities. Okay. Now when this particular request will go, it will check for the Kanpur. And what I will do, I will go to the JSON Pathfinder, and this is the response body I will be getting. If Kanpur, when I will send the Kanpur, and if Kanpur is available, then this is the response body I will get. Otherwise, I will get the empty. Otherwise, I will get the empty. If Kanpur is not available, I will get the empty body in the response, or otherwise, I will get this as a response. Okay. And I will also get the status code, that is get type of the request is completed. So I will get the status code 200, so that I can validate, that is if Kanpur is already exist, so I can take as a JSON Pathfinder. I want to get the name of this city and I can check whether it is returning error or it is or null, or it is returning the some name of the city. So I have taken it as a query JSON Pathfinder. Okay. Now what I have done, after this I have added the post. So we have already discussed how that you can add post processor. In post processor I have added the JSON extractor. So I have done this in my last session also. And in the JSON extractor, I have created this variable city name, and this is the JSON path I am using from here, this one, to extract the name from this response. And it will give me the one value only. So I have taken that, take it from the first value, first position. And if name is not available, it will return the error. So error means that name is not available in the response. So the city name will be stored as an error. Otherwise, city name will be stored as a Kanpur or any city name. So this thread is validating the city name and extracting the response, JSON response, and storing it in the city name. And if city name is not available, I will store the error. Okay. Now after that, in JMeter, all the threads are executed one after another in the from top to bottom order. Now, in the post city, I want to add the city, but the condition is that city should not be available. So before executing this thread, I want to validate that city is available or not. So what I have done, I have added the pre-request processor. That is before the calling of this request, I want to validate it. So again, I have just clicked on it, add and pre-processor. So post processor and pre-processor. Pre-processor means I want to call it before the execution of the thread. Pre-processor, and I have added the bean shell pre-processor, this one. So in bean shell pre-processor, I can write a Java code. We have discussed this in our sampler lecture also. Okay. So now I have already added it. Okay. And what I'm doing, I'm getting the data from the variable. This variable which we have created, so it will store this value from this JSON path, and I'm extracting that particular variable from here. VRS is a predefined object. We have done it in a sampler class, bean sampler class. Okay, this is a name. What is the name? Name is a variable name, and it will store in a variable. If this is having any error, so we can debug by writing the print. And I also told you, you can go to the options and you can check the log viewer, and from there also you will get the error messages. Some exception are coming, so that you can trace from here also. Okay. So here it will print. I have printed the city. So city will, if city is not available, it will print error, and if city is available, it will print Kanpur. If you want to get the status code or the response message, you can also validate it from the previous request. PRV means previous object. Previous object means before this request is executed. This is the previous. Okay. So now I have written a control statement, that is if error is not coming. Not. I have written not. So it means city is available. Okay. So it means it means if city Kanpur I am adding and it is already available, Kanpur is already available, then it will not return the error. But if Kanpur is already available, then I am saying that an error. So error will be stored when will be error stored? When in this path I will not get any city name. Okay. So if it is not equal to the error, then what I have to do, I have to stop the execution. That means city is already present. City is already present. Okay. Now in Postman we have written the code to stop the execution. Similarly, if you see over here, this is the code. Okay, this is the code org.apache.jmeter.engine.standardjmeterengine.stop thread. As we have discussed this thing in our last session or of in a bean sampler also, that all the classes are not coming from this prev or ctx or vars or props. Okay, these are the predefined objects which we can use, but some things are there which we need to import. So this is the library, this is the class library, and the method is stop thread. Okay, and in the stop thread what we have written, that is current thread dot get name. Which thread you want to stop? So you have to give the name of the thread over here. So it will get the name of the current thread, and it will stop that particular thread. So this is the line basically you have to write. Okay, this is the line. Okay, so this is the basically line which you have to write if you want to stop the execution of the thread. Now, when the city has been added, so again we have to add the weather. So this is my post. Okay. So one more important thing I forgot to mention is that when you are sending the post type of a request here, HTTP localhost 3000 city name, but now I am sending the post type of request. So in post we do not send the query parameter like here. We do not have to we do not select the query parameter. Instead we select the body data because in API testing post type of request we have already discussed that when we send the request also go in the JSON format. So we have written that this is the key value pair in which we have written the name Kanpur and city ID K. So this is the body I am sending in the post type of a request. That is also important. Okay. In get type of a request, we are sending as a query parameter. We are not sending any body data over here. Get type of a request. So only when you add the post, then only it will be activated. Post or put or patch or delete, then this body will be activated. And you can write the JSON code over here. Now again, when I want to add the weather, before that I have to validate that city is already added. So again I have added pre-processor, and from the previous request means previous request from the of this is this one. So from the previous I am getting the status code. So pre-rev is a predefined object. Get response code retrieves the data in a string format. That is important. Sometimes we take it as a numeric, like 201 is a numeric. So I compare by as using double equal to or not equal to, then it will not work. Or you have to convert it to the integer if you want to use double equal to. Okay. Again I printed it, and here again I've written if it is not equal, I've written not equal to 201, then again we have to stop the execution, that we don't want to add the weather. Okay. So now if I in my city, Kanpur city is not available. Okay. And also weather is not available for the Kanpur. Okay. So now when I run it, all the three requests are executed, and when I have written the print, so print will come over here, and you can see here the city name is coming error. So it means city is not available. So it is storing it as an error. Okay. And then after that, it is post, because the error is there, so it is adding the city. And then 201 it is validating that that city has been added. So it has added the weather also. So all the things are passing. You can also check from here. This is the request going as a query parameter, and this is the response data coming as an empty block because city is not available. Then this is the body request going, and this is the response data, that is ID is auto generated. And then third one, this is the request, and this is the response data, whether ID is generated. And you can also validate from here. And you can see in the post, the Kanpur city has been posted. And in the weather, this weather has been added for the Kanpur. Okay. Now, if I run this again, so again it will try to add Kanpur. Okay. Again, I will stop this. Okay. And again, if I run it, now this time, if you see over here, now city is coming as a Kanpur, not as an error. Okay. And because it is coming, error is not coming. So it is going to the if block, and city already exists, and execution of the thread will stop. And when the execution of first thread is stopped, third thread will also not get 201 like here it was getting. So that will also not work. So now if you see over here, only first get type of a request is coming. These two requests are not going because we have added the validation. So in that way also you can use the beam request pre and post processor, and you can do the work. Okay. Hopefully you understood it. Thank you very much.